All right, so let's get started on our backs in a supported fish pose or any sort of back bend that you'd like. So for the supported fish pose, if this is too deep or too much, um, having a rolled up blanket at the underneath the shoulder blades is a nice option. For the fish pose, we have one block for our head and then the other one going along the spine. There's different combinations of how you have the block set up. You could actually have this spinal block a little bit higher. I'm demonstrating the lowest version of all the blocks. If you're looking for a deeper back bend, you could try this out first. And then you could adjust the blocks if you find that this isn't enough. I like to have the block behind my head as I lean back. And then once you land, you can sort of adjust. And you want to make sure that the back of the neck has space. So you want to make sure that the chin isn't going too far up to the ceiling so that you're compressing the vertebrae in the back of the neck. And you can allow the arms to come out to the sides. And start with the knees bent, and we can intentionally relax the lower back here. Just giving our body the opportunity to ease into this heart opener. Good morning, Cindy.
Sorry, I'm late. Yeah. Good
No
morning.
worries. We're starting off in a supported fish pose.
Okay.
You might be able to see from my mat, I've got one block
Oh, yep, I see.
lengthways,
Yeah.
and then the
One,
other one
yeah.
for the head. If
Okay,
this
great. I got to turn the volume up and then I'll get there.
Yeah, if this is too deep or the blocks feel too hard this morning, you could use a rolled up blanket underneath the shoulder blades. But coming into this, you can have the hands holding the block behind the head. It can be a little uneasy leaning back into this. So that's why I like to, use the block. You could even have the block a little bit higher if you wanted to, just to make sure the neck feels okay, and then lower it. And one of the reasons why I'm suggesting in particular easing into this slowly is because we are in a transitional time, transitioning from winter where we've been doing a lot of sort of closed chest, shivering type posture with our body. So the front of the shoulders and across the chest may be particularly tight. And one of the intentions for our practice today is to invite this opening, invite the element of air to help balance the element of earth that comes with the spring. A sense of, we call that kapha, the kapha dosha, which is heavy and wet. So we invite space, which is air, to get rid of perhaps stagnation, invite space and movement. Now, the chakra, which are energy centers that travel along the spine, the heart chakra is in the space around the chest area. The color associated with this chakra is green, a beautiful emerald green. So as you breathe in, perhaps visualizing the breath traveling to the heart center, feeding this beautiful orb of green light. And if you've been in this posture with your knees bent for a little bit and you want to just test out extending the legs one at a time, just notice how the lower back responds. So this is fish pose, supported fish pose. With each breath, visualize the air, the space, traveling across the heart center. Getting rid of the cobwebs and congestion, that cold and forward rounding of the spine can create. As you exhale, let the arm bones relax into the shoulder sockets. If you're a visual person and you want to visualize perhaps your favorite flower opening up, announcing spring is here, visualize your body blossoming like a beautiful flower. And this will be very slow. Each inhale creates a little bit of space, maybe a rise in the chest. And each exhale gives us the opportunity to relax the arms and just embody this slightly more spacious feeling across the chest, across the front of the shoulders. Just a couple more breaths here. And I've been guiding you to focus primarily on the front of the body. Use the next couple of breaths to just observe what's happening in the back of the body. And the upper back that rests against the block. Allow these muscles to soften and get heavy. Release into the block. And as you inhale, imagine the shoulder blades like two hands, just gently assisting the upper back into a slightly deeper opening. Just noticing how the front and the back of the body work together. Now notice the muscles of the face, especially along the jaw. Allow that to relax. Smoothing out any worry lines that may take up residence between the eyebrows. Perhaps setting an intention for your practice. Honoring where your body is here in this moment. And noticing what you would like for your body. What does your body need from this practice? And we're going to slowly transition out of this by bending one knee at a time and placing the feet flat on the floor. Press into the feet. Just lift the hips up a half inch or so. And just do a little jiggle here, a little traction. Just rocking the body on the two blocks. And when you're ready, we're just going to very slowly transition to our side, coming up to seated, perhaps noticing any of the residual effects from that pose. Something to elevate the hips. You can use a blanket, you can use your inflated ball if you have it, or a block. And coming into a comfortable seat, perhaps cross-legged. And if it doesn't feel comfortable to sit on the floor, feel free to come onto a chair. We're going to do a couple of seated moves. So we'll be here for maybe 5 minutes. Start with the hands on the knees. Press into the knees, draw the chest forward. Just pause here for a moment. So invite a gentle stretch on the front of the neck, but again, be mindful of the back of the neck. Imagine those hands at the shoulder blades, just creating this lift in the chest. Feel the shoulder blades draw down the back of the body. And now on the exhale, round the spine. This first one we're doing slowly. Drop the chin to the chest. Allow the back of the neck to stretch. Draw the belly button in. And let's flow in between those two. In breath, you arch. On your out breath, you round. So just find your rhythm. Slower is better. I was mentioning earlier on, I was up in Canada this weekend and did some different types of movement, somatic movement, and a lot of fascia work. And one of the things mentioned with the fascia work was tuning into the biorhythm of the body. And that would take 15 seconds going in each direction, which is really quite slow. So it can be interesting to try that on and see how it feels. So we'll just do one more round and we'll meet up in a neutral position. Now we'll go stretching to the right. Have your right hand on the mat. Try to keep the shoulder away from the ear. So the ear is going to drop towards the shoulder, but have the shoulder melt down the spine. And then inhale, the left arm comes up and over. Now keep inviting that right shoulder to draw away from that right ear. The left hip, invite that to stay away from the lower rib cage. So that left hip is staying rooted, staying grounded. And then inhale, you rise up. Pause for a moment. Root down through the left hand. Left shoulder stays away from the ear. And then inhale, the right arm reaches up and over. Right hip heavy. Inviting space in between that lower rib and hip. Inhale back to center. Hands on the knees. Let's make some circles. The torso moving. You can pick a direction. Let the circles get a little larger so they involve the shoulders and the neck and the jaw. And if you can stay grounded in the hips, you may notice a nice stretch in the lower back as you go forward. enjoy a pause before taking it in the other direction, starting slow with small circles and then letting them grow. And let the head and neck and jaw be part of this release. A lot of times when we focus on a particular part of the body, like say the hips, we end up clenching our jaw because we're concentrating or furrowing our brows. So just a gentle reminder to try to keep the body parts flowing with ease. And we'll come to the center. And let's just do some gentle half head circles. Imagine you've got a little pencil on the tip of your nose and you're creating a big circle. In reverse directions. So warming up the spine before we get into twists, which are, again, one of our spring tools for mobilizing things we don't need in the body. Pause when you get to the center. We're going to twist to the right. So we'll start just by taking the left hand on the right hip. The right hand comes behind you. So both hips are facing to the center. Inhale, press into both hands. Get a nice long spine. Now keep looking straight forward as you twist to the right. So not moving your head yet, not moving your neck, just the spine. And now let the head go. Turning and twisting towards the back of your space. Each breath, inhale and get length. Each exhale, relax into the twist. Keeping that left hip drawing back. So the hips, that's your earth element. That's your stability. That's the grounding that allows the upper body to be flexible. Exhale, slowly unwind. Set up for the other side. So just placing the hands first, pressing into the hands, nice long spine. Keep your gaze forward as you begin to twist the spine. And then let your gaze travel towards the left. Draw the right hip back. And just notice the opposing quality of stability in the hips, flexibility in the spine. Exhale, come back to center. Extend the legs long, just sort of jiggle them out. Get that circulation back in there. You can have your hands behind you to support you. Slide your feet so they're maybe a foot apart and just circle out the ankle. Take it in the other direction. We were talking a little bit about feet being a little achy. Again, as we transition, maybe new shoes or your feet have been sort of congested and restricted all winter. And there's just a little point and flex here. And now bend the knees, have your knees wide, wider than your shoulders, and we'll let them flow side to side. Now, be very mindful of the knee joints. So the hips are the boss here. So when the hips say, I've gone far enough, we need to listen. Because the knees will sometimes say, no, 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 I can take you further. But we want to, listen to the hips. When the hips say, that's enough, then we stop. All right. Let's come to the center. Transition to table. So we're on hands and knees. And you're welcome to add the knees. Fingers are spread wide. Toes are turned under, even the pinky toe. So I don't know about you, but I have to be very intentional about the pinky toe. Sometimes I need to actually manually turn it under. But that's going to give you a nice little stretch. So fingers are spread wide. On your inhale, come into a gentle back bend and just pause here for a moment. Slide the shoulders away from the ears. Imagine you've got hands right on the back of your shoulder blades, just giving you that assist to open up the chest. On your exhale, round the spine. Head is heavy. Pause here for a moment. Make some gentle circles with the head to allow gravity to create space in the neck. Take it in the other direction. And come back to center. Now flow with your breath. Cat and cow. Now, can you can you find that biorhythm of 15 seconds? Taking 15 seconds to transition from one pose to the other. And what can be helpful with this slower movement is to just be really curious about what you feel in your body. You know, in the beginning, we were talking about noticing the little signs of perhaps a peach that may appear this season. And there may not be something that we notice each day about the buds of the leaves, but they don't all of a sudden just pop open. It's slow. Same thing with our body. Our body will change with our yoga practice. So use this slow, slow movement to just notice between one round and the next. Is there anything, any subtle change in how your body arches or how it flexes? And then pause in the neutral spine. Inhale, nice long breath. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Maybe take the hand to the inside, palm facing back. Breathe into the right ribs. Again, we talked about how this is the season of mucus. This is the thaw, the winter thaw. And just like you might see runoff in water in your yard, we get the runoff in, in mucus. We're thawing out what we were storing to get us through the winter. We want to release it from the lungs with our deep breath. Exhale, come back through center. Deep breath in to invite space. Exhale to the right. Maybe take the left hand to the outside. Exhale, come back to the center. And then uncurl your toes. And we're just going to do a gentle tap Now this, you might want to go really easy because this can be sensitive. The tops of the feet can get quite tight. It's just a little shiatsu form of massage to maybe get rid of some stickiness. And pause. Thread the needle. Inhale, the right arm reaches up, gentle twist. Exhale, thread it under the left. Again, watch that right hip. Keep that level with the left. So the right hip's going to want to follow. We have our stability, keeping the hips level. Two more breaths here. And then untwist, reach up. Back to center. Left arm reaches up. Invite space. Exhale, thread under the right. Inhale, rise up, open up, and back to the center. Nice. Toes curl back under, extend the left leg, gently press and release. Nice option for stretching the feet, the calf, creating space in the hip. Pause, float the left leg off the mat, keep the hips level. That usually means dropping the left hip. You can take your right hand, just rest it on the lower back, notice if they're level. Maybe extend the right arm forward. Press into the left hand so you rise up. Shoulder stays away from the ear. Exhale, release down. Right leg extends back. Invite that pulsation. Pause. Float the right leg off the mat. Maybe take the left hand and rest it on the lower back so you can check in with the level of your hips. Option to extend the left arm. Press into the right hand. Notice how that draws the right shoulder away from the ear. And back to center. Toes curl under. Just begin to press the hips back towards the heels. Go easy here. This can be quite the stretch for the bottoms of the feet. Maybe you walk the hands towards the thighs, putting more weight on the feet. Again, just do it to your tolerance. Let's come back to table. Have your blocks to the front. You want to take them a little bit higher. Take your right foot in front of you for a low lunge. And then begin to lengthen the front leg and then bend it. Let's do this one in rhythm with your breath. So when you feel the inhale, invite the back bend, shoulders draw down the back of the body. And then follow the exhale. Try to keep the spine long. You can close your eyes. This is a nice flow to close your eyes, just drop in, linger where you like. So sometimes with our eyes closed, we can connect even just a little more deeply into what our body needs. And then take this time to just honor that by pausing. With the knee bent, this is more of a vata, sort of energizing option. With the leg extended, you're flexing the spine forward. This is more introspective, a little more calming. And just finish off the next breath. Pause with the knee bent. Begin to transfer the hands to the front thigh. Just notice if this feels okay. If it does, arms reach up. Then you bend the elbows, come into cactus arms. Chest is lifted to the ceiling. Shoulders, they've got those hands. They're pressing from the back of the body to give you that back bend. Inhale, stretch the arms straight, maybe straighten the front leg. This is a little wobbly. And then bend, draw the elbows in. 2 more times. This is going to be quite wobbly. It might be too much pressure on the back knee, so only do it if it feels okay. Lengthen the front leg. Hands come to the blocks. And then bring that right leg back to meet the left. Take the left foot forward. And lengthen and bend. Do a few rounds, just check in. Notice how the body's feeling. Close your eyes whenever you feel comfortable, and then just listen into what the body needs. And sometimes it takes a couple of repetitions to notice which one of these the body needs more of. Finish off the next 2 breaths and we'll meet up with the knee bent. Maybe taking the hands to that front thigh. Maybe lifting the arms up. Now this is going to challenge the balance. Really press into that left big toe mound. Exhale. Bend the elbows. Draw them in towards the side of the ribs. 3 times. You can add straightening the leg as the arms reach up. Bending as the elbows come to the side. Pause after the 3rd one. Release the hands to the blocks. Bring that left knee back to meet the right. Slide the blocks to the side for Anahata Asana. Anahata means heart. Imagine that beautiful green orb of light at the center of your chest, pulsing with the breath. Imagine the hands on the shoulder blades, just giving you an ever so gentle assist. Imagine a ball that you're rolling with your nose till you come into Sphinx pose. And just allow the weight to rock gently from side to side. Come into all the way down on the ground. You might want to just check the alignment before you drop down. The hands come wider than your mat and the fingertips are drawn in and you're up. We call these eagle talons and foreheads to the mat. This is the setup position. Root down into the hips and to the top of the feet. So the legs, there's your kapha, there's your earth. On your inhale, press into the fingertips. Head is heavy. You stay looking down towards the mat. When you get up as high as you can, then you look forward. And then you drop down 2 more times, nice and slow. Now honoring the lower back, the limitations that it might be showing you. After your third round, release the arms along your sides. Legs come close together. Press into the right leg, top of the foot, the thigh, the hip. Let the left leg get light. And then follow that lightness as you lift the left leg a little higher. All the while lengthening the left leg. Keep pressing into the right. Keep lifting the left. Lower the left leg down. Press into the foot, the thigh, the hip bone of the left leg. Notice the lightness coming into the right leg. Follow it. Keep lifting the right leg and lengthening it. Lower the right leg. Press into both hips equally. Invite a lightness into the legs. Let both legs float off the mat. Palms face down. Press into the palms. Maybe let the head come off the mat. You're looking down. Maybe allow the arms to come up. So you're rooted down through the hips. The hips are your feet. Exhale, release all the way down. Hands come under the forehead and legs windshield wipe. Lower the legs down. Hands under the shoulders. Press up through table. Toes curl under, downward dog. Pedal out the legs. Find stillness for 2 breaths. Into table. Grab your blocks. Right leg steps forward. Option to lift that back leg and straighten and bend. So again, you can do this with the knee down if that feels like a better option. Next time the right knee's bent, left hand comes onto a block on the inside and you twist to the right. Exhale back to center. Lower the back knee if it's lifted. Right knee back to the left. Toes curl under. You're standing on your knees or slightly behind the knees, hands on the hips. Core is engaged. You lean back. And then you rise up 2 more times. Pause after the third one. Hands to the mat. Downward dog. 2 more breaths. Knees down. Left leg to the front of the mat. Option to lift the back knee and flow. Straightening and bending. With curiosity, just notice what's going on in the muscles and in your breath and in your face. Pause with the knee bent. Right hand to the inside and twist. Feel the heart center, that beautiful orb of green light. Can you find any of that fish pose here? Any of that stretch across the chest? Press into that right hand. Exhale, untwist. Lower the knee. Left leg comes back to the right. And you lean back 3 times. Pause. Table into downward dog. Walk your hands to the back of the mat. Nice deep bend in the knees. Forearms rest on the thighs. Relax the head and neck. And then begin to straighten the legs and then bend them. Next time the knees are bent, pause here. Inhale, rise up, chair pose. Utkatasana, powerful pose. Then inhale, rise up, gentle back bend. Pause here, opening up the front of the body. Relaxing the back of the body. From the back of the mat, release the arms down, come into a neutral spine. Looking straight forward, slowly make your way to the front of your space. Remove the blanket if you've still got it on your mat. Blocks are handy to the front of your mat. Inhale, reach up, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back for warrior 1. Start with the hands on the hips, aligning the legs. Straighten the front knee and then bend it. Add the arms. Bend the elbows. Straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Bend legs, bend elbows. 2 more times. You'll pause with the knee bent, elbows bent. Keep that left hip drawing back as you twist to the right. Open the arms up. Rebend the arms, twist back to the center. Reach the arms up, traditional warrior 1 here. On your exhale, hands come to the blocks, back leg lifts, and then lower it down to meet the front leg. On your inhale, rise up, gentle back bend. On your exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back, warrior one legs. Realign, readjust, straighten, and bend. Inhale, arms rise up. Bend the elbows, open the chest, feel the fish pose. And then straighten arms and legs. 2 more times. Pause. Twist to the left. Extend the arms. Rebend. Twist to the center. Straighten the arms. Traditional warrior one. Exhale, hands to the front of the mat. Lift the back leg. Lower it to meet the front. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Left leg steps back, warrior one, right into it. Straighten the leg, lower the arms. Bend the knee, lift the arms. 2 more times. Stay with this. Or add the torso. Dropping the torso to the inside of the right leg, core engaged, then you rise up 2 more times. Pause. Begin to shift the weight to the front foot. Float the back leg up, level off the hips. Come to the front of your space. Both feet on the ground. Nice. Let's do the other side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Right leg steps back, warrior one. Float 3 times. And then option to add on the torso flow. Pause on your exhale. Shift the weight to the front leg. Float the back leg up, level off the hips. And step to the front. Nice. One more round of warrior one. Inhale, rise, gentle back bend. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. And left leg steps back, warrior one. Extend the arms out to the sides. Relax the shoulders down the back of the body. Left arm comes in front, bend the elbow. Right arm comes underneath. Maybe you press the back of the hands together, maybe you can clasp. Stretch the elbows away from you. Option, dive to the inside of that right leg, coil, 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 and rise up 3 times. And your third time, pause upright. Now option to come into eagle. Shifting the weight into that right foot. Float the left leg off the ground. Pull it in towards the rib cage. Bend the right knee, wrap the left leg around. Sink deeply. Breathe. And then unwind everything. Open up, create space. Exhale, fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. And then the right leg steps back. Warrior one. Flow 3 times. And then you pause. Arms extend out to the side. Relax the arm bones into the shoulders. Shoulders away from the ears. Right arm comes in front, bend to the elbow. Left arm comes underneath. Draw the elbows away. Feel that stretch in the upper back. Option to dive to the inside of that left leg and rise. And this is an interesting pose to just notice the stabilizing muscles work to keep your balance. You might notice it in the feet, wobbling from the inside to the outside. Just watch with curiosity. You pause upright. And now this is an option. You could stay right here or begin to shift the weight onto that left leg. Float the right leg off the floor and then bring it in towards the ribs. So kind of like a stork pose. Bend the left knee. Wrap the right leg around. And if you have a block, you could rest it on it. Mine just happens to be in a very convenient spot. And then unwind, reach up, stretch out. Feel the after effects. Fold halfway. Press into the legs, nice long spine. Bend the knees, lower the hands to the mat, come into your table pose. Turn the toes under, step back, downward dog. And invite any intuitive movement, any sort of pedaling out, sort of stretching the hips side to side, releasing the neck. Again, tune in, listen to your body. What does your body need? Nice. When you're ready, lowering the knees to the floor. And we'll come to seated. Stand both legs out. And then draw the right leg in. We're setting up for Matsyendrasana. So you can keep your leg here to the inside or slide the left leg over, cross the right knee over. If that feels okay on the hips. You're hugging the shin. And again, find the fish pose. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, get length. Keep drawing the left hip back as you twist to the right. Flexing the left foot. Work with the breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, twist. Exhale, unwind. Gentle counter stretch. And stretch across the front of the shoulder blades. Back to center, uncross. Slide the left leg out to the left. The right foot comes to the inside for Jani Shushasana. And you might find it helpful to press into your hands, lift your hips and slide them forward. Try to get that nice clean arch in the spine. Now rotate your belly button towards the knee. Inhale, get length. And you're flexing at the hip. So the trickiest thing here is to maintain a long spine. There's a tendency to round. And if you find that you're falling into that tendency, take your hands behind you. Now, maybe you take the right hand to the outside of the left foot, but only if you can maintain a nice long spine. Inhale, get length, and then exhale, soften. Close your eyes with curiosity. Scan your body, noticing what's stretching. Notice sensations. Experiment with the breath to release strong sensations. And slowly release up. Right leg extends out, left knee bends. Decide if you want to cross it over. The two sides might be different. Hug your shin. Find your fish pose. Left hand comes behind and maybe you wrap the hand or the forearm around that knee. Inhale, get more length, and then exhale. Allow the twist. Right leg is flexed and you're drawing that right hip back. We need our earth element, our stability in our hips, so we can invite flexibility in the spine. Can you feel your fish pose? Can you feel your chest lifting? Unwind, counter stretch. And back to center, into Jani Shushasana. All right, let's start with the hands behind us. So press into the fingertips and feel the chest lift and begin to tip forward. And then if you want to take your hands forward and your back stays nice and long, you could do that. Maybe the left hand comes to the outside of the right pinky toe. You close your eyes. You invite curiosity. And you'll rise up. Knees bend wide. Just windshield wiper out. The legs and the hip. And then let's transition to our back. So grab anything that you would like for Shavasana. Any sort of props. Any layers of clothing. I'm going to invite you to come into a supported bridge pose. So a block or one of those inflatable balls would work for that. So we started with opening the chest, opening the upper back, and now we're attending to the lower back. Let's invite the breath into the lower belly. Maybe visualizing that diaphragm. So with the hips elevated, as you breathe in, the diaphragm has to go against gravity to fill the lower belly. But then as you exhale, it takes advantage of um, the anatomy and the upside down, and it flies up under the ribs. Noticing what it feels like to challenge gravity and then to flow with gravity. If you like, you can extend the legs up. And this can be a really great spring pose. It's helping aid the blood flow back to the heart. You're welcome to stay in stillness or maybe invite a little bit of a flow here with the legs. Just take a few moments, tune into what your body might need before Shavasana. If you're ready for Shavasana, you can transition anytime. We did quite a few twists, but if you like to close with a spinal twist, ask your body what it needs. Whenever you're ready, offering yourself any props or layers of clothing that will allow your body to drop into sweet Shavasana. Inviting the body and the mind to integrate the new poses, the new sequences, entering the portion of the practice we call allowing and being. Noticing how it feels not to do. Notice how it feels to receive. Receiving the gifts that you've generated for your body. The heart is the seat of giving and receiving. Allowing the breath to fill your heart with this beautiful green orb of light. Stretching the rib cage, the intercostal muscles. As you exhale, releasing anything left over from the winter that you don't need. Allow the next breath to be a little longer and a little deeper. Invite gentle movements into the body. Invite those movements to be a little bit larger, maybe circling the wrists and the ankles. And slowly transitioning to your side. Once again, taking a moment, honoring the heart, giving and receiving. Perhaps setting the intention. Just notice the gifts of spring, this stage of spring. When you're ready, you can come up to seated. Take a moment, visualize your hips like roots of a tree, offering you stability and grounding. Your torso like the stem or the trunk of a tree, flexible, drawing up towards the sun. Your heart like a blossom opening up. And if you'd like to join me in a chant of Om, take a deep breath in. Om. Okay. Thank you guys.